Welcome to Christian Warrior Training. I'm Keith. Today we have urgent and critical information regarding a direct threat to Israel and its potential implications for church security in the United States. All right, now recent reports have confirmed that Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has ordered a direct strike on Israel following the death of Hamas leader Ishmael Hanaya in Tehran. Now this escalation raises serious concerns not only for Israel, but for global security landscape, including threats to Christian churches here in the United States. Now, the Times of Israel reported that Khamenei's directive is a significant escalation in Iran's ongoing proxy conflict with Israel. Now, this move could trigger retaliatory actions from various militant groups aligned with Iran, including Hezbollah. Now, as many of you know, I've been warning about the increased threat levels to our churches. Now, on ChristianWarriorTraining.com, I recently issued an alert emphasizing the high risk of attacks that this new development only amplifies these concerns. Now, as many of you know, I've been warning about these increased threat levels to our churches. Now, on ChristianWarriorTraining.com, I recently issued an alert emphasizing the high risk of attacks. Now, this new development is only going to amplify those concerns. Now, in my alert, I highlighted the heightened risk of attacks and the need to increase vigilance among church security teams. The escalation between Iran and Israel serves as a stark reminder for us of why we have to remain prepared. Now, the Israeli government has told its citizens to expect attacks on synagogues and other Jewish institutions internationally. Now, many European countries have elevated their terrorism alert levels to the highest setting. It's important to note that America has gotten rid of its terrorism alert levels. We don't have anything because the FBI has come out and said that apparently right-wing extremism is a bigger threat to America than Middle Eastern terrorism. I heard a Joint Terrorism Task Force leader from the FBI specifically say they were not concerned about Middle Eastern terrorism anymore. That was as recently as last year. Now, Iranian officials have stated that if America and Iran go to war, Hezbollah agents in the United States will be unleashed upon American citizens.
Now, when it comes to churches, Christians specifically, why should Christian churches be concerned about Hezbollah in the United States?
Because Hezbollah has the infrastructure and organization here. They have not chosen to use it operationally as far as terrorist activities on a regular basis. But they're all here. They have the know-how, they have support. All they have to do is say, hey, you know what? It's time to be active in the United States. Hit 3 churches across the country at noon tomorrow, and it'll happen.
Now, our discussion with the JTTF agent or Joint Terrorism Task Force agent covered cell structures of Hezbollah, their funding mechanisms, and their surveillance techniques. Now, this agent provided critical information on Hezbollah or how Hezbollah operates within the United States and their potential threat to Christian churches. I suggest you go back and take a look at it. It's important information for us to review here. I'll put the link in the notes below. Now, Hezbollah cells in the United States operate with a high degree of sophistication. They're self-funded through various illegal activities, including counterfeit goods and cigarette smuggling. Now, these funds are often sent back to support their operations abroad and could be redirected towards domestic attacks if they're ordered to do so. Now, why should Christian churches be concerned? Now, Hezbollah views churches as symbolic targets representing Western values and non-believers. An attack on a church would serve as a powerful propaganda and recruitment material for their cause. Now, churches are going to have to balance being open and welcoming with ensuring the safety of their congregants. Now, simple measures like training your security team, maintaining a visible presence, and encouraging a see something, say something culture is going to deter potential threats. Now, in our conversation with the JTTF agent, we emphasize the importance of every church member being vigilant and proactive. Now, if something seems off, report it immediately. This kind of awareness can be the difference between preventing an attack and becoming a victim. Now, for my Christian Warrior Training newsletter subscribers only, next Wednesday, I'm debriefing an active shooter incident that occurred at a mosque in New Zealand. I have the video from the active shooter, and as that active shooter goes through the church or goes through the mosque, I debrief everything that people could have done to not fall victim. I can't show it on YouTube because YouTube has censored that video. and much about it. In fact, this video is going to get censored and demonetized. But if you head over to ChristianWarriorTraining.com, on Wednesday, you'll get that newsletter with the video in there that you can watch and see everything. And in light of what's coming up, I expect the attack that I'm going to debrief on Wednesday is the same kind of attack that we're going to see in American churches. Now, it's essential that we don't turn our churches into bunkers, but we have to be prepared. So you want to ensure your security team is well trained both tactically and medically, and you want to equip them to handle a situation as it arises. Now, we have to also recognize the broader context. Now, as tensions rise in the Middle East, the likelihood of proxy attacks on U.S. soil is going to increase. Hezbollah's infrastructure here is well established, and they're poised to act if they are given the order by Iran. Hezbollah's funding operations are vast and intricate, involving everything from counterfeit goods to exploiting public assistance programs. Now, this financial network supports their global operations and can facilitate attacks here in the United States. All right, now let's talk about the church security threat level system. Now, this system helps us gauge the current risk and take appropriate actions to protect our congregations. Now, the threat level is currently set at high, and this means that there is a credible and elevated risk of an attack. Now, churches need to be especially vigilant and increase their security measures and ensure that all members are aware of this heightened threat. Now, the next level is imminent threat, red. I haven't put us there yet because I don't have any specific information about an attack coming up. But if I were a large church, say a mega church that is conservative in nature and in a state that disarms its population, I might raise that for my church to red and be ready because you're a prime target. Now, in this high threat environment, here are some key security measures that your churches should be implementing right now. The first is enhanced surveillance. Now, you want to increase the use of security cameras around your property and monitor all entry points and areas where people congregate. You want to have a visible security presence. You want to have that security team present during services and events. And this is going to act as a deterrent to any potential attacker. They will see your security team and they will move on to somewhere else. You want to limit access control. So limit access points to your church and use designated entry and exit points and ensure that they're monitored. So don't have any unlocked doors that aren't monitored by somebody. You want to do security training. So you want to regularly train your security team and church staff on emergency procedures, including lockdowns, evacuations, and first aid. You want to have a communication plan. You want to establish clear communication plan for your congregation. This ensures everybody knows how to report suspicious activities and whom to contact in case of an emergency. You also want to have emergency drills. You want to conduct these regular emergency drills with your congregation and practice different scenarios so that everybody knows what to do in case of an attack. Now, these measures are essential in ensuring that your church is prepared to handle any threat. Now, remember, the goal is not to create a bunker mentality, but to be ready and to be vigilant. Now, the current geopolitical climate is underscoring the importance of preparedness. You want to stay connected with Christian Warrior Training here for ongoing updates and training to keep your congregation safe. I update the newsletter constantly. It's a little bit harder for me to do it here on YouTube. So if you want those constant updates, go sign up over at ChristianWarriorTraining.com. Now, thank you for watching. I want you to stay safe, stay vigilant, and may God bless you. But I also want you to remember your ABCs. Always be caring.